So today we're working on the flatbed again. And when I showed up to the garage this morning, I wasn't sure what I was going to work on. And I'm about to tell you how I made my decision. Okay, so the decision to be made this morning was, do I work on the tray and cover for the Gooseneck Hitch, or do I work on the toolbox doors? I was kind of at a place where I didn't really care. So I got on our TikTok and went live and held a poll, and everybody voted for Gooseneck Hitch. Matter of fact, it was 0 to 100%. So 100%, we're working on Gooseneck Hitch today. Of course, if you clicked on the video, you know that already. But that's how I made my decision. So let me tell you what I'm about to do, and then I'll get my stuff ready. So what you're looking at is my flip over ball that was in the bed of my truck. Now, the problem is right now I can see clear through to the ground. I want to keep road grime and stuff kind of out of that area and extra moisture, and I want to keep a tray that way I don't drop anything through there. So I'm going to build a tray that goes down in there and still allows for my release over there in the corner. And I want to put my electrical connection over in that corner over there. And I want to make a hinge that hinges the cover off of it over to the side, like on a lot of the manufactured beds. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of old metal that came out of the wrecker body that we cut up, because this was a wrecker body, and I put this new sheet in there, and this is a piece left over from cutting the center of it out. And I'm going to use this to start with. I'm going to cut it the right measurement for that hole to lay down on the bottom of it. And then I'm going to give it some sides and weld the sides around the outside of that. Now when I cut that, I have to cut the hole for the Gooseneck Hitch, but I also have to cut the holes for my chain hold downs. And I'll actually probably prop them up by welding washers to them. So I will measure that, get this cut to size, and then we'll start measuring out for the hole for the ball, and that's how I'm going to start this off. Okay, in this light, I think you guys can see my scribe line I made down through here. Now that is as straight as I could get it using a carpenter square. And I went ahead and cut a little bit of nib off this end, marking it. I took the scribe, wherever I put that at, right here. That's my scribe. I went ahead and decided to use this fender well because it's mostly flat still here, where that piece was kind of bowed and actually had a crack on the back side up, so I'd have to weld all that back up again. So I'm just going to use this fender well that was sitting outside. I'm going to cut the section out of this, then I'm going to use the excess bits of this to make my edges that come up inside the tray. So that tray needs to be 15 7/8. So I'll go ahead and make my mark to here. There's 7/8 there. And it's got to be 12 inches wide. And so that's why I've cut the place off where I've cut it off at here. And so I can't see it as well because it's wet here. But right
here in my rod right now.
There is the other mark. Yeah, because outside had some water laying in it. So now I'm going to double check that using this alongside to make sure I'm straight. It's right here.
They are working hand in hand.
And so I'll cut that, and I'll cut that, and then I'll measure over this 12 inches, and I'll cut this, and I'll get this plate cut out. Now these few holes I'm going to have to weld up to get what I want, or I might just leave them for drainage holes, I don't know.
Joke.
But then I got to cut my, and actually those might not be in the way. Time I cut out for the center from where my ball is. I may not even have to worry about those. So I'll cut those out and I'll go from there.
Yep.
Okay, so I understand you guys probably can't see it from there, but I went and took a measurement back over with the truck, and 5 inches back from the back of the tray is the center of my ball. And so it's a 4-inch piece. So I went 1, 2, there's 3, 1, 2, there's 7. Made marks for 7. Went from each side, and it's roughly about 8 inches. So I actually took and made an 8-inch mark from this side and an 8-inch mark from this side, and it landed me to where there's a 1/16 difference to go center between the two of them. So I went out there 2 inches and went out this way 2 inches. Took me an old disc here that's just a fuzz over 4 inches, but I'm going to stay inside the line. And so I'm going to take the plasma cutter and cut this out, and this will be the center of my hole. And I'll probably have to clean it up later because, it's a plasma cutter. It's going to be a little, messy. But I put me a new tip on it, so we'll see how it goes. The rust probably doesn't help matters any either. Alright guys, so full disclosure here, I've test fit this a couple times. I actually knocked the edges off of it because that's where I'm going to leave those holes when I weld the sides on. And I also took and worked out this hole some. It's not exactly a perfect circle, but good. Lay it down in there. And there it is. Fits just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that laid just like that right there, and I'm going to go underneath the bed with a Sharpie, and I'm going to come up from the bottom, and I'm going to, the holes where they go all the way through, I'm going to draw dots on the bottom of this from the underneath side to know where I need to drill my holes for my 2 safety chains. So now we'll go do that. Alright guys, so now I'm under the truck, and this is the part of the hitch that bolts to the bed of the truck. And the hitch is primarily welded to the frame. I do have to do some finish welding on it to get it where I want it. But that's when we flip the bed over and we'll fix a lot of that stuff. So now, I probably need to get you guys a good look at this. So I'll show you in a second, but while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and draw these. So I got a hole here. And here, man, it's gonna make it so easy. And here, and here. Oop. And just like that. Okay, so now, put my Sharpie in my pocket. Okay, let me, ow. Let me show you what I got. Alright guys, you are laying underneath the truck with me, and these holes right here, you can see my glove above, right there. That's underneath the bed. I don't want to use those ones. I'm going to use these ones here. You can see my little Sharpie circle there. And if I come back this way here, I'm on a crawler here, there we go. You can see that hole there and there. And then I'm not using these ones either. So I made my Sharpie marks. So I'll go back up and I will take this plate back up, and then I can lay out those holes and center them, punch them, and drill them and make them the right size for the bolts. And then I got to go find my bolts. But then I can get my sides on here, and we need to figure out what kind of strapping we need to cut. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. All right, guys. So. If you look right, well, there, you can see I center punched that right there. So I center punched all of them. And I went to looking around for my U-bolts and I can't find them, which is not terrible. I went ahead and ordered a set off Amazon because Those have been on there for 15 years. The springs were in bad shape anyway, so we're going to go ahead and just drill these, prep it, line it up. I'll probably stick some 1/2-inch bolts through there for now just to make sure it lines up, because they are 1/2-inch, the U-bolts are. So, but I'm going to go ahead and drill these. I got me a 1/2-inch drill bit, got it up here on the drill press, and so 3 more of those, and then we'll put it in place. Okay guys, so one thing I've done is I cut me a bunch of 2-inch strapping, and then this one right here I actually put a 4x4 piece on, and we'll go over why I've done that here in a bit. So right now I've got it setting up on a couple 1x pieces, and I've got these magnets kind of holding it in place, and I'm going to try and grab a couple. I'm going to start making this tray to fit what's going on here, and I'm using these magnets to kind of hold it in to where it needs to go, and then I'll kind of tack it in. I actually want it to be flush with the outside of this. So now that I've got that there, I'm going to go ahead and hit this spot right here. I may have to cut some of this off compared to the next piece, but we'll see what happens here. I just kind of cut them roughly the right measurement.
Okay, I should say. And I'll come back in here. Okay, there's that. I'll make sure that I need to be there. That was a little bit more to the tack. That'd be good right there. So, and now, we will come over here with this one.
That's not going anywhere now. My only concern right now is that I maybe got, nope, it don't look so bad. I may have to tap that just a little bit. But I want to make sure that stays in there. But I think that's going to be good. Alright guys, so this is boxed in, ready to go with my 2-inch, well 2 1/8-inch wrap all the way around. I've actually ground the corners off to make them to where they're not sharp. There's a reason for that. And then this right here is my Gooseneck Hitch piece. And so what I plan on doing is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to measure this out, and I am going to cut a hole out here for that to go in, and I will do that tomorrow. So if you guys will let me do this. Wow, I am dirty. So give me just 1 second. I'm gonna go home, eat dinner, take a shower, all that good stuff, hang out with family. I'll be back in the morning, which will be next cut for you guys. So see you in the morning.